Hey guys, this is Sebastian. Welcome to another segment of Building Your Wealth in Under 5 Minutes. Today we're going to be talking about how much money you need to be spending on a car on a monthly basis, because unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that are spending too much money on a vehicle. So the question is, how much should I be spending? Before we go ahead and get started, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. Just grab this video, send it to someone that you love, because again, the people that you care about need to have more knowledge. The more knowledge we have, the better we can be making decisions with our money. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so before we go ahead and start talking about vehicles and how much money you need to be paying on vehicles, remember, the number one rule is you should have no credit card debt. So once your credit card debt is completely knocked out and that credit card debt is gone, now we can start figuring out how much money you should be spending on your car. Now, the reason I bring up this topic is I literally spoke to someone this past weekend and I got blown away with these people now that are making $50,000 a year and they're driving a $100,000 BMW Mercedes or whatever they're driving. He actually was driving a $100,000 Mercedes, paying $1,000 a month. And then people are complaining about, I don't have enough money, I don't save, I don't invest, I'm broke, I got all this debt. But the number one question is, let me ask you, how much money are you spending on your car every single month? That will tell you exactly if you are in the right way of building your wealth. Now, this video is not to talk about whether leasing is better or buying used is better or buying a brand new car is better. That's a completely separate video that we actually put together. If you want to go to our YouTube channel and check that video out, it explains all the reasons why a used vehicle, for 98% of people, it will more than likely be better. Then the next thing is you want to ask yourself that you want to be buying vehicles that are depreciating at the slowest rate possible. Remember, cars lose value, so you don't want a car that loses value very, very quickly, and that's what that video explains. But when it comes to financial balance, when it comes to a vehicle, there's one rule that we need to follow, and it's the rule of the 10%. So this is what that means. Let's say that between you and your spouse, you're currently making $80,000 a year, or let's just say you're making $80,000 a year. But again, this is your gross income. And as we've explained in other videos, your gross income is what you make before taxes. That means after you subtract taxes, Social Security, Medicare, everything, you might be left with, who knows, maybe $65,000. That's your net income. So that means if that is your net income, you have to follow what's called the 10% rule. So what is the 10% rule? The 10% rule says that if you make $65,000 of net income as a household, right, between you and your spouse or the household income, 10% of $65,000 is a total of $6,500 per year. That means that all of your car payments in the house should not be costing you more than $6,500 a year in payments. So if I grab that number and I divide it by 12 months, right? If we divide that number by 12 months, that will give us about a grand total of about $541 more or less per month. That means that your car payments, not car payment.
What the hell is this?
Your payments.
Your car payments, in other words, if you have 1, 2, 3 cars, should never exceed more than $541 per month if you are bringing home a net income of $65,000. Let's say that you're bringing home a net income of $3,000 a month. Then that means your car payments should not be more than $300 per month. And again, this is after you've already knocked out all your credit card debt and all these other things. That's a completely separate conversation. Second thing that we need to look at is not only what is our car payment, but we also should be looking at what's the price of the car. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because you see, we all know that if I just want to make my monthly payment smaller, there's an easy trick that you do. You just extend the time period of the loan. So what do I mean by that? Say that you wanted to go and get a 48-month loan. Payment was $700. Well, if you want to get your payment smaller, then you can go from a 48-month loan to a 72-month loan, and you might shave off $200 off your car payment. So that's like a little trick that people will say, okay, Sebastian, If I need to pay no more than 10% of my net income, then what I'll just do is I'll just extend my loan. That's why this second rule comes into play. The second rule is that the value of the car at the moment you buy it should never exceed more than 50% of your net income. So what does that mean? Your net income is $65,000. The value of all of the cars at the moment you buy them should not be more than 50% of your net income, which means that 50% of 65,000 is $32,500. That means that all of your cars in your home, in other words, your car, your spouse's car, your kid's car, all of the cars should have not cost you more than $32,000 a year. Again, if you have a net income of maybe $100,000, then 50% of $100,000 is $50,000. So the two rules that we got to make sure we're always following is your monthly payment should not be more than 10% of your net income. And then on top of that, you need to make sure that you're following the 50% rule. The thing you need to remember is that if your net income is $65,000, your cars should not cost you more than 50% of your net income. And this goes back to the same story we spoke about. When people are buying themselves cars that they really can't afford, this is the reason why you can't save, you can't invest, you can't build wealth, and many times it's because you have all these massive car payments because you want to impress people that don't even like you. And it's unfortunate, but this is the way life works. And remember, what's your priority? Are you trying to build wealth or are you trying to impress people that you don't even like?
My boy's wicked smart.
I know that this is a lot of content, but if you really enjoyed this topic about cars, there's an entire other video that I've created that talks about houses and how much you should be spending on your mortgage, on your rent every single month. Check that out.